Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News, and take a look at this. Kevin O'Leary, whom we all know and love for being a pretty interesting crypto bull, details a mega opportunity for early crypto investors. I want you guys to know one thing though. If you're watching this video right now, you are an early crypto investor. Having said that, if you're an early crypto investor, which you are, right now I'm doing a $10,000 crypto giveaway, which again, in my own mind, anybody could turn into $1 million. So make sure you go ahead and check out the link down below for my Gleam campaign. As I said, it's going to run for about a month, $10,000 to be given away like this. And you can enter any way you want, but you only need to do one of them to make sure you are eligible. So go ahead and check it out and make sure you press the like button on this video if you are enjoying them. So to get back to Kevin O'Leary though, he says institutional demand for Bitcoin is nearly insatiable. So in an interview recently, he says the big opportunity, the mega opportunity for Bitcoin, and why I stay long and why I continue to allocate to Bitcoin is when we get policy and institutions can allocate to it. So whenever he says Bitcoin, I like you to think about crypto as a whole, because Bitcoin is not necessarily the master of all, it's just the standard as of this point. But that doesn't necessarily stay that way forever. So I always consider Bitcoin in this context to be the cryptocurrency space, like an XRP, like a Matic, like an HBAR, like a QNT, for example, all of those coins we know and love. So we get policy and institutions can allocate to it. Sovereign wealth and pension institutions, they'll probably put about 50 basis points, 0.5%, which is half 1%, up to 1% into Bitcoin. And if you guys realize, right, for example, Apple has got $200 billion in cash. If you kind of think about how much 1%, for example, would be, it's an instant couple $1 billion. Now, if BlackRock, for example, which we all know is $10 trillion worth, goes for 0.1% or whatever, that's a huge amount of money already. And if they go for 1% out of 10 trillion, can you imagine? And that's where you're going to break out of this range. How high? Now, nobody knows because the demand is almost insatiable. Most large institutions want a position in crypto and they want the granddaddy crypto. They want Bitcoin. They can't buy it yet though. I service the institutions and the sovereign funds with indexing, and they all tell me they want the index for Bitcoin, but they can't buy it. They don't have any policy, they don't have any compliance infrastructure, so we got to get this done, which is, in my own beliefs, crypto regulation is the most important thing for crypto to just pop off like crazy, and it's happening this year, which is, in my opinion, why you're still so early, because, well, there's no fundamentals just quite yet. It's all like the Wild West still, kinda. Also, if you take a look at BlackRock, they recently partnered up with Coinbase to facilitate a lot of this institutional client demand. But it's for a lot of those clients which like to take risks because, well, the regulation is kind of difficult still, right? I mean, if Coinbase was partnered up with them for a longer time, right now Coinbase is, for example, being sued by the SEC for all those securities on there. That could have been a really big problem. BNB chain, which I love, all right? BNB is one of my favorite cryptos, you guys know it, has been outperforming competitors in breakout year. Here's a report about it. So apparently BNB chain NFT secondary sales volume is just pretty huge, or at least increasing rather. And to be honest with you, everything for the BNB chain has been rather good this year. By the way, BNB chain is the new name for the Binance Smart Chain. Things are doing pretty good, you know, on this network. I see a lot of new builders on there. I see a lot of people being excited about it. It's relatively cheap. It's relatively fast. Things are pretty good for this one. And honestly, it is by far the area which I've invested the most amount of money into. And most likely over the next 12 months or so, I'll still be allocating the majority of my money to new projects launching on there and be, I guess, integrating a lot with this chain. Just letting you guys know that this thing is doing really, really freaking amazing. All right, Brazil Central Bank Director terms Bitcoin a financial innovation. Interesting, no? So Fabio Araujo, the director of the Central Bank of Brazil, has praised Bitcoin's technological properties, terming the asset as a financial innovation that has given rise to new critical products. For example, he singled out Bitcoin's role in giving rise to Web3 concept alongside, triggering most jurisdictions to start researching CBDC. Interestingly, the director revealed that the bank began looking into Bitcoin's properties over a decade ago, though. They actually started to look into it in 2009 with the launch of Bitcoin, with distributed database technology that facilitates the creation of Web3. And it's kind of interesting how so many people have known about Bitcoin and crypto for so long, yet so many were hesitant to kind of jump in or drop on, whatever. And it's only kind of like nowadays that people are starting to get back in it. Why? Well, now it's starting to get safer and safer, right? But even the bigger institutions, like Kevin O'Leary says, they're still not completely satisfied, as it's not completely clear just quite yet. But back then, if you bought it and some regulation would come out that's bad, you might be screwed, specifically if you're such a high entity, such a well-respected entity that is. All right, now regarding Cardano. Kraken on Cardano. On-chain activity continued its tear in volume with a 268% rise year to date. Cardano has been one of those projects which is always improving. I actually have a couple of articles about Cardano open right now. Take a look at this as well. For Cardano, it's 100 projects and counting. But is that really enough? Is a question that I guess some person was asking. The answer is pretty simple. Yeah. It's an ever-increasing ecosystem. It's not as if it's sitting. You know what? Let me just phrase it differently, actually. It kind of cut out there in my recording. I was like, what's going on right here? Let me just say it like this. It's an ever-increasing ecosystem. It's going to expand time and time and time on. There's really no stopping it, to be honest with you. And to me, one of the craziest things for Cardano is the fact that, well, let me say it differently. The activeness is going down piece by piece. The amount of market value, which is logical, is going down right now. The amount of faith is going down right now. But if you do a little research for yourself, you start to understand, okay, we can't utilize TVL, for example, as a measure of how good a project is. Why? Well, because certain projects do a lot better in a bull run than others, and right now, for example, DeFi is in a really big wreck. Can we really say, oh, okay, TVL is the thing we should measure for when it's down, for example, 75%? No, every single crypto is down 75%. This is an expanding ecosystem with new features very, very, I guess, close after another, but it's pretty new to all of this still. Cardano is a growing ecosystem. I'm not sure exactly why this article is so negative on Cardano. It says here it's built its reputation and hype for years, which it has. But the crazy thing for me is that they're so close to finally putting something on the map which a lot of other cryptos could not have done, which is to think everything out before you do it and then actually go ahead and do it. A lot of these projects do make money, get something out there and start innovating, but that's so different. So I really praise Cardano for what they're doing, and I have a lot of other videos out there, even one on TikTok that I'm building right now, that I'm making, about how they're changing the world with this digital identity solution and whatnot. They're doing a lot that a lot of other projects are not attempting to do. Then over in Nepal, Nepal, nice word, prepares to issue digital currency, drafts necessary amendments. Things are happening, as I said earlier, all right? We don't have to go too deep in all of this to kind of state that they're doing a lot for the CBDC realm, and a lot of these guys are looking into digital currencies. It's happening right now. Right now is the situation for central bank digital currencies as a standalone, and crypto regulation, which kind of combines both of those things as well. You know what was interesting to me? I actually didn't know that until maybe a couple months ago, that the Nepal flag was actually only this part. I thought it was like this part with something next to it, but it's literally only, this is the shape of the flag. And I didn't know flags had that type of shape, which is an interesting thing to me. I think myself, I know a lot of flags, but I didn't ever think that this could be the shape of a flag of a country. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being ignorant. I know now, though. I know for a couple of months, but I was kind of surprised. Before we move on with the news in front of you, Robinhood has actually just listed AVEX and XLM. That's pretty good. Ripple CTO takes slight dig at Stellar, XLM, funny enough, and Jed McCaleb. When I saw this, I was like, you know what? Let me actually say that Stellar indeed just got listed on Robinhood, but so this is interesting. Lee Sands said, what do you guys think about my new plate? Just to show my two favorite digital assets. And David Swartz says, they accidentally put a dot instead of a better than. Dot meaning a product of something, so XRP times XLM, for example, or just a dot instead of better than, because that's kind of funny. David Swartz, by the way, is an XLM holder. I asked him a little while ago, but I don't know. I still think this is kind of funny to see. And then something which happened a little while ago, but I want to warn you guys about, is this right here. Near Protocol discloses breach of email and SMS data tied to user wallets. I want you guys to make sure you understand. If you're getting an email, if you're getting a DM, if you're getting a text, if you're getting anything, it is most likely a fraudster trying to take your stuff. All right? Most likely some platform that you... So most likely some of your data is out there, and prevent your... Maybe on the odd occasion out. I will never DM you. No influencer or crypto guru, if that even exists, is going to DM you. And I guess most importantly, this is a situation of, how can I phrase it in the best way? If you really think that these guys are sitting on their ass, no, okay, let me, I'm trying to phrase it in the best way, but let me just say it like this. Be very freaking careful with all these emails, all these SMSs and such. It's all fake. They're all trying to take your money. And that was it for today's video.